Hey everyone, in this video we are reviewing Type 74E. It's a mid-tier era 2 Japanese medium tank and features manual siege mode mechanic. So let's get started with the setup I'm using. For equipment I'm using advanced loader, advanced concealment, and enhanced missile warning system. For consumable, enhanced medkit, enhanced repair kit, and enhanced rations using camo paint, as well as not using any premium shells as premium is heat and not that effective in era 2. And the standard pen is good enough to pen every tank, especially the weak points. For crew skills, I'm using Bond Leader, Rapid Loading, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Silent Driving, Camouflage Expertise, Track Mechanics, Sixth Sense, and Run and Gun. Same setup that I was using for STB1. The only difference is I'm using Missile Warning System as opposed to Gun Stabilizer because I want to avoid missiles as much as I can. As I mentioned earlier, the turret and the hull doesn't have any spaced armor, so you will get penned 95% of the time when missile hit you. And the worst thing, you can get armor as well. And the accuracy in siege mode is very solid, so you don't miss gun stabilizer. However, when you're in drive mode, you do miss much more shots without the gun stabilizer. So you just have to adjust your playstyle. Looking at the module view, the engine and fuel tank is at the back. The ammo in the turret, in the front left side, and in the center. 4 crew members, 3 in the turret, and driver in the hull. Looking in the armor, not the greatest armor. It's worse than the 30B, but better than Leopard. But don't rely on it. Anything with premium APCR will go through the turret, and also the standard APCR will go through it, as it's just slightly younger than 195 over here. In the front of the turret, 175, and then majority of the turret towards the side is 132. Hull front, upper hull, and lower hull is 80 mm, so not much armor there as well. 67 7 mm over the sides of turret, and then your side armor is 35, and rear is 25 mm. As it is medium, you are not immune to Gatling guns. You have to be careful. Maintains the similar armor profile as the Era 1 STB, so if that says anything, it is not a reliable armor. You don't rely on armor, just use that extra gun depression with siege mode. Looking at the stats, these are the stats after the equipment and skills. Top speed 60, reverse 25, outer weight 18.95, hit points 2500, hull rotation 50 degrees, concealment 270, stationary and 282 moving, and view range of 604. Turret rotation speed 44 degrees, accuracy during turret rotation 0.63. That is the one in siege mode. They haven't mentioned the standard one. And the gun depression is 12 degrees in siege mode and 6 degrees in regular mode. And elevation is 14 in siege and 9 in drive mode. Reload time of 5.1 second. And that's the strength of this tank. It has better reload and DPM than AMX as well as Leopard. Doesn't have premium APCR, so you still have to aim your shots, but does have solid gun dispersion in siege mode, so you can pen shots or aim at weak spot with minimum exposure. In addition, the accuracy is 0.26, aim time of 1.93, and DPM after everything is 5400, which is very, very respectable for Era 2. Penetration for standard 407, premium 430, and HE is 250. Armor damage of 460 for the standard and premium, and 570 for HE. Module damage 150 for every shell. Shell velocity 1500 for standard, 1173 for heat, and again HE is slow, 760, so you have to be careful while using it. And the way to play this tank is use that DPM and the gun depression in siege mode and let your gun sing. It's not very effective if you're being aggressive in the tank. Yes, you do have DPM, but you don't have armor. And when you're in close range, a tank without the siege mode will obviously outplay you because it's faster. You do go slow when you're in siege mode, you go 30 forward. So it is a bit sluggish. The strength is go to a ridge, hold the ridge, and let that gun sing. Easier said than done. It is, I would say, a balanced tank. It isn't as strong as MX B2 because that has chain gun as well as premium APCR. or like Leopard, where you can pen everything using premium shells. So the strength is the mechanic as well as the the accuracy while you are in siege mode. So let's see how this tank performs in an actual battle. I'm in airfield, spawned at G2, and decided to go to H5 to use my gun depression, usually in medium if they don't have armor. But regardless, I go to E5 as I can get some decent shots towards their base or also towards H8, H9. But since we are in Type 64, I wanted to take advantage of the siege mode as it doesn't have a minigun. It isn't that fast where I can rack up damage quickly towards the end. You have to be active throughout the battle to do damage and let that gun sing, as you do have the single shot DPM. But again, the tank is a little bit slow, but I like the gameplay. It encourages holding gameplay. It is anti-YOLO gameplay, so good for the matchmaking as well. So in the middle, as you can see, very respectable gun handling, and managed to pen 2 shots into VT2 and another into the medium. I don't have a big hatch, so 30B, if they stay stationary, it is difficult for him to pen me than it is for me. I think he was shooting heat and somehow ended up bouncing, but do not rely on it. The tank doesn't bounce. Ignis with a big flank. I do have enough armor where I can bounce the miniguns, especially that turret. But Hull, you can still get penned. I think that Ignis was just poorly aiming. But nonetheless, I managed to take him out with the help of my teammate. Again, M60 thought he could do a better job than Ignis. He pushed and parked sideways, and we all know what happens when you make that epic play. So 2400 damage, and I was also able to spot them and have 2400 assist. Team is winning by 3 tanks, pushing a little bit towards the HJ line for some more spotting so I can do some damage before I close in towards the FG line. I don't have the greatest support, but the teammates I do have, they connected their shot, and that's not something that often very much. Took out the Magats 3 and Leopard 2AV. I think he's the one that I shot earlier in the beginning. And he retreated so I can pen him, but unfortunately I don't know where the shell went. Probably a destructible object. Nonetheless, a nice RBRT. And that's the missile warning system coming in handy. I dodged the missiles. Oh, I can't tell you the amount of times I've gotten ammo racked in this series, the STB line or the Japanese line. So I'm very scared of missiles and want to avoid getting shot by them at all costs, and hence the equipment. Push towards the 74G. He is the better tank. It's a top tier, but I think it's stock maybe. So I should have contested him as I'm not winning the trade. Lucky for me, my team coming to my rescue, and he missed his last shot. I managed to kill him. 6300 damage. Bagel is pushing. I don't know what his plan was either. Nonetheless, as you can see, the bloom is very respectable. It takes about 1.3 seconds to go into siege mode, 1 second to go out. But still, it is manual, so it's an extra step. And that's the reason you get better aim time and better accuracy and gun depression while in the siege mode. Usually if it's automatic, you only get the gun depression, but you get 2 extra attributes. I don't know where that shell went either though. The broad side of Mobat I should have penned. And then this shot I should have led better. This wasn't the gun's fault, but it was mine. And when I do ended up tracking him, I made sure he's in full cover that no one can shoot him, including me. I could have shot him 2 more times by this time. Nonetheless, RNG takes away and then it give it back as I managed to set him on fire in the very next shot. And another pen before Bagel took him out. 2 tanks remaining. One's bad, I don't have any shot on him. And I do remember there was a tank destroyer towards the C9 area, so I decided to push that and hoping for best. Do ended up spotting ELC, a nice pen, bringing my total to 9200 damage. and he threw smoke, so won't be able to do any more damage. Nonetheless, a solid tank, a balanced tank, not good for being aggressive, decent for holding, but not the greatest turret either, which can't be penned. So do let me know what you think about this tank, and if you're grinding the line, and which one is your favorite throughout the line so far, and especially in Era 2. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.